A goal without a plan is just a wish. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you why I create expectations and not goals. Hey manifestors, welcome back to another episode of Redesign Your Mind podcast. I am your host, Tidra Dagry, and this is going to be a quick one. So did you know that only 3% of Americans actually write down their goals? I hope that you are not one of the 97% that do not write down their goals. We all have goals. We all have aspirations. But unfortunately, a lot of us will take a lot of our goals and dreams to our graves because we never actually accomplish them. So I started out with the quote, "A goal without a plan is just a wish," because a lot of us wish for things. We wish we had a new home. We wish we had a new car. We wish we had love. We wish we had tons and tons and billions and trillions of dollars in the bank, but we don't really do anything to make it happen. I believe in visualization and using our imaginations to manifest in our lives. It's one of the tools that I use and I share with my clients all the time. I even have them get in the habit of visualization because I do believe that it is a powerful, powerful tool. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And that's why it's so important to use that visualization muscle that we have all been given by God. Okay? But you have to go beyond that. You can't just sit around wishing for $1 billion to fall into your lap, because while it is possible, it's highly unlikely, right? So I set expectations. So let's say I have a quote unquote goal of earning $10,000 a month. I think that is pretty much, when I ask people what is a good number income wise, a good amount of income that they would love to bring in every month, it's usually $10,000. So that's why I start with that. So say that I want to have an income of $10K a month. Instead of saying this is my goal, I say this is my expectation, because it's a it's a mindset shift, and it takes you from a place of wishing, which can be in that goal atmosphere. When you're thinking of goals and wishes kind of go hand in hand. But when you have an expectation, that's a whole different vibe, right? It's a whole different level of energy that it takes to expect something, because when you expect something, you know without a shadow of a doubt that it is going to happen. So think about pregnancy. I don't know if you're listening, if you've ever had kids, then you know what it feels like to be pregnant for an entire 9 months. I've been pregnant 5 times. I have 6 children. Don't let that throw you off, because there's a set of twins in there. Every time I say that, it's like a brain, like, what, wait, what did she just say? So I've said that to a couple of nurses, in the past, and they just look at me like I got horns coming out of my head. Okay, so don't think too hard. So you get pregnant, and at the end of that 9-month, 40-week period, you expect to have a child, right? I know that it doesn't always work out that way, unfortunately, for some women. But for those of us who have had healthy pregnancies and who have given birth to healthy children, okay, we're just using that as the example today. So you get pregnant, you find out you're pregnant around 6 to 8 weeks on average. And then you go throughout that 9 months. There's a period of time that you will start purchasing things for the baby. After you found out what you're having, you start purchasing things. You start nesting. You start, getting the nursery ready and preparing for the hospital day. So because you're expecting to give birth to a baby. So your goals should be no different. You are pregnant with a vision, and you should expect to give birth to that vision, right? So again, it's just a shift. It's a subtle shift from setting goals to expectations, but it's a powerful one. So anytime you have a goal, so let's go back to our goal of $10K a month. And right now you are working a 9 to 5, 11 to 7, 7 to 3, whatever your hours are, right? You're working at a job and your goal is to earn $10K a month, but at your job, you're only making $3,000 a month. So you now have to figure out what is the plan. How can I take my $3,000 income? Sure, I could go into my boss and ask for a raise, and one or two things is going to happen. Probably going to get fired, right? Because he's going to feel like she is going to feel like I have the balls to come in and ask for a raise of $7,000, right? a month. So he or she will probably laugh in your face. You may get fired, or you will be so humiliated or just fed up that you just quit and now you're back down to zero. So the likelihood of your boss taking your income from $3K a month to $10K a month is slim to none, right? So now you have to figure out, okay, how can I make up for this $7,000 deficit? So you will likely need to get a whole nother job, which, may not be all that feasible. You're already working 40 hours a week. You go work another 40-hour-a-week job, and it likely still will not equal $10K a month. So you're going to have to start your own business, join an MLM, or something to create that $10,000 income. So you have to write down what that is. So you want to start with, what are my talents, my skills, my gifts, and my abilities? And some of those are going to be one and the same, but you need to start out by writing them down. And then you want to figure out which ones of these would I love to do on a regular basis, right? And monetize, right? So do you have a skill of writing? Do you have a skill of teaching? Do you have a skill of dancing? What are your talents, skills, gifts, and abilities? So you want to write all of those down on one side of the paper, right? And then on the other side, you want to figure out which ones you can actually monetize. And then from there, you put a plan into place to monetize one or two of those gifts, talent, skills, and abilities, right? And then you turn that into an expectation. Once I've put all of this in place, once I've structured a business or an income strategy, then my expectation is for this new business venture to bring in 7+ K per month, right? And then you're going to want to make this a full-time thing so that your business income can replace your work income, right? So you can work for yourself all day, full-time, 24/7, and have the freedom that you don't have working at a job. Okay, so when you are saying your affirmations, hopefully you are saying affirmations and you're really speaking positivity into your own life, into your day. Every single day that you wake up, there's a whole nother podcast, but you need to speak to your day and set those expectations for your day. So you want to now implement your expectations for this particular income goal. Does that make sense? So make that shift from setting goals to setting expectations, and I guarantee you will more likely achieve those goals. Thanks again for tuning into today's episode of Redesign Your Mind podcast. Again, I am your host, Tidra Dagry. Make sure you connect with me over on Instagram at Mindset Makeover Mogul. Check out my website for the freebie library and all things coaching, mindset elevation, and me, TidraDagry.com. Lastly, make sure you head on over to Amazon.com and pick up your copy of my very first book, Meditation, The Brown Girl's Guide to Meditation. And stay tuned, because I will be releasing book 2 very, very, very soon. Thank you guys so much. I will talk to you.